What do you say, baseball fans? Rye Bread talking baseball, episode 56. This is a redo here. I tried to do a pack reveal, and without my lovely assistant, it's too clunky. So we're going to get right to the results, trying to incorporate the cards into our game plan a little bit more often here. And after we get through the cards, I'm thinking I'm going to go price them. So after we price out today, I'm going to go and report on what we found. I want to see if you actually get the value back on the cards that you pull. So just after 4 packs, frankly, I didn't do the whole thing. C.J. Abrams, Bowman. Look at that, Bobby Witt Jr. These are beautiful cards in these Bowman mega packs. Really beautiful cards. And then you get a bunch of rookies. And after we price these out, there's a Bowman Sixto Sanchez. This Garcia, for some reason, is up on the scale right now, according to the Card Market Watch. And you know I love Patino. Remember, this is from 4 packs of Bowman. This is my pair card, excuse me. I'm pairing these. Refract for Bart, and then you've got the rookie from LA. This one, for some reason, also has a spike in value. This Ruiz. I don't know if there's like a rarity issue with that card. But you also get the regulars. Look at that. How lucky is that? It's a Trout. It's just a Bowman Trout. It's worth it. Just to have. I'm not going to sell it. Are you kidding me? Anything with Trout's name on it and anything with Tatis's name on it, you're going to have to really knock my socks off to get it off me. So that's the 2 minutes I wanted to spend on it. But don't forget, there's also higher end action that comes out of this. I found this in the garage in my notebooks. I had a bunch of photo albums. They were filed with the photo albums, but there's baseball cards in them. Look out for the gold rims. Gold, black, purple. It's extra value. This Urias, I'm going to go sell it. We'll price it out. This Shohei Refract, yeah, they'd have to probably... They're going to have to pay me a bunch to get that bad boy. That's off of Topps Chrome that we opened yesterday, finishing up. And then you can also get autos straight out of the pack. So we're into it. We're going to be following a little bit more. But for now, let's get into the real baseball talk here. Rays lose a heartbreaker. Double play doesn't get turned in the first inning, and it ends up a 2-run home run the next batter. And then the Rays end up dropping the game by 1. It was a heartbreaker. It was a hard one to watch. That was a difficult game. But the Yankees are going to get some correction on how lopsided that series has been lately. I expect the Rays to bounce back today. I hope they can. They still have 35 wins. Nobody else does. The Rays have dropped 2 in a row, and they're still the best record, wins-wise at least, in MLB. They're not going to make a trade for a big arm, as much as I would love for them to do that, and as much as they have a shot, right? But the Rays' philosophy is always give themselves as many chances. It's definitely a quantity over quality approach when it comes to going after a World Series. They figure by being in there and having a position to at least make a run at it every year, they're more likely to eventually win one. And with the constraints of their payroll, that's something that they've heavily invested in. But the Dodgers showed that kind of comes to a halt in big games under the spotlight. So that's why I want the Rays to go out and get Madison Bumgarner from the Diamondbacks. It's not going to cost much. They could probably convince him. You'd have to be able to convince him. Who doesn't want to go make a run with the Rays to a World Series? It's not like going to play for the Rays back in the Boggs time when you just kind of do it to mark your time until you go out. The Rays are in it to win it, baby. And you're going to be in marquee American League East matchups. The American League that really hasn't seen Bumgarner. Even though Bumgarner is not the same guy that he was. Still good enough to get guys out. And somebody has never seen him before. Good luck. So I like the idea of going after him and not really paying much to do it. And you add a number 3 into the middle of that rotation. The Rays rotation right now, the team staff ERA is 7th in the majors. Not in the American League, in Major League Baseball. That's good enough. They hit enough for that to happen. And with their payroll, it's staggering. frankly. You look at the teams above them, what they're paying the guys that have ERAs lower than the Rays. You want to do a payroll price comparison, payroll versus ERA and production and WAR. I wish I had the tools to do that. That is absolutely in the Rays' favor. You don't have to do the math to know that's how they're doing it. They're getting production out of everybody. And I expect help on the way with Patino and McKay. And Honeywell Jr., if it all comes to pass. My guy, my inspiration, Brett Honeywell Jr. So we're going to watch the Rays as they develop these arms. But don't forget, it's Wander Franco any minute. It's Vidal Brujan any minute. And Taylor Walls was on base again last night. That guy is the new style of hitter. He's a contact guy. He's going to get hits, man. He puts the ball in play. He's just a dirtbag. I really like him. For a young player, he's really impressing me. But we don't want to go all Rays here. I want to make sure that we get into the San Francisco Giants, who are on top in the NL West again. Because look at the Giants, dude. They're there again. It's like, why are you going to be surprised? The A's, surprised that they're in there? No. The Rays, no. Hey, man, the Giants, just a winning organization. Berta, save it. I'm just kidding. They're a fun team to watch. They have a great fan base, and why not? They've just proven it all year so far. It's a long way to go, but, man, they keep figuring out a way, don't they? Giants, on top in that monster division in the NL West. And the NL West is the National League as far as I'm concerned right now, whereas the American League just feels so much more wide open right now than does the National League. And I still don't have a clue about the NL East and what's going on there. But I'll tell you, that comment about Stroman's do-rag and all this stuff, I'm not an expert on social commentary or how that plays. But, dude, if somebody doesn't like what you're saying and that joke line has gone cold for like a decade now, I don't see how that's still relevant. I don't know what kind of crowd you're hanging out with where you're dropping stuff like that and it's just going to fly. I think it speaks to a wider issue where not only would you say that on TV, imagine what that guy says privately if he's willing to go there on TV. Now, you can't just condemn somebody for that, but there's obviously that kind of language in circles of at least the media out there that shouldn't be, frankly. So I'm going to get off that. That's not really my lane, but it's worth making a note that self-correction is part of being a friend. So you can say something to your buddy. A real friend will accept constructive criticism, where you don't see it as much these days. There's no gray area. And that circles me back to the umpires and this, how much are we going to let go when it comes to the substances on the baseballs? And it's not a safety issue. Will Winterbrooks made it perfectly clear that it's not a safety issue anymore. These guys are loading up the balls for competitive advantage. If you make sure that the rosin bag has enough stick so that you're not putting in a guy's ear hole and the safety issue is off the table, major league hitter out of his very mouth today saying that he's not worried about the safety part of it, then you can't let these guys load up the balls and just throw those wiffle balls out there. But with the replay, everything's so cut and dry, they use it ineffectively. They can't use it just as a simple tool. All the umpires need to have a monitor that they can just access after the fact. You don't change a ball or strike call, but you can change a call at first or second, and not because the fielder lifted a guy's hand off the bag for a minute and called him out. So, as a call for just decency and normalcy, let's just take the common sense approach here. There is a such thing as a gray area. It does exist. But we didn't get too much into the technical baseball today. Give me a comment about the cards. We're going to give away one of these Bowman cards. Get at me on which one you want if you post the score of the Rays and Yankees today. We're staying away from the bets. It's a limited slate, and I didn't want to force it. So we'll be back at you tomorrow with another one. Get at me on Twitter, @RyeBread. Hit me up with a subscribe there if you would. I'm starting to need it. The views are slagging. Maybe it's the product. This guy needs to get off his duff, do a little research. Now, I spend a lot of time watching games, but I don't have the quality control here to really put together a video show. So I hope you're staying with me, and I hope you're enjoying it. Please give me some comments on how to get better. We'll be back at you tomorrow because we're going to do 162.